Hi, folks. Bob Mannery here. You're listening to A2D Radio, real sports talk radio for the fans, by the fans, no agenda. These guys are the best in the business. Hashtag it. No notes.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? We're back. Another wonderful Tuesday. It was actually super nice today, actually. Brian, what's going on, my man?
It was awesome today. Not much, man. How are you?
I'm doing good. I mean, I'm feeling pretty good, I guess, for the most part.
It was a good weekend.
Yeah, there was I feel like every week we come in saying that there's some upsets or some odd score lines, and we definitely didn't have a shortage of those this week.
Yeah, there was a lot of unique stuff going on. So
yeah, so I mean,
I'm excited to talk about all that.
A lot of good stuff. I guess, obviously, we will give you a rundown of the Premier League. Week 13 coming up here. This past weekend, Manchester City, Chelsea.
Yeah, it was kind of what I thought it might end up being.
Well, I hit the
exactly what you thought it was going to be.
I hit the score.
You did.
So, yeah, I mean.
I would have hit the score in yesterday's game, too, if Newcastle could just got one in there.
Just one.
That's what I was hoping, man. I was like, I needed that 4 points back.
Yeah, so we see the Jose Mourinho era getting underway at Spurs.
Looking
with a nice
good so far, I guess.
Win,
they won. Yeah, they won, and then they just won in Champions League shortly ago.
Yep.
So
that and a couple poor performances, I guess, from Arsenal.
Oh, my God.
And Everton, both those two kind of.
Dude, how both those guys still have jobs today is crazy.
Yeah.
Like really.
We've been calling for both these guys' heads probably. Definitely for Everton with Marco Silva, we've been being like, dude, when's the time? And, you lose to Norwich at home.
Yeah, dude.
Norwich hasn't scored a road goal since August.
Yeah.
Since August,
and
bro.
They scored two, Toddy.
But, yeah, we'll dive into that, too. And also, Manchester United and Sheffield, probably the game of the week.
I called it.
6-point thriller.
I told everybody you wouldn't want to change your channel. And if you did change your channel, you changed it, and it was 2-0 when you changed it at that time. It was,
exactly.
Because I looked, I was like, let's see what the status of this game is. And everybody thought Sheffield was running away with it, and we'll get into it. But it was a hell of a game. Game of the week, definitely.
And also, I know it happened a week ago, but we'll touch on it a little bit. The men's national team beating Cuba. We didn't get to touch on that because it happened that night of last week's show.
Yeah, we didn't get to discuss that on this show. So
yeah,
it was a positive.
Yeah.
Nothing that to write home about.
Something, again, that we said that should happen.
Did what we're supposed to do, exactly.
Bingo.
But we'll talk about it.
We'll talk about that, and we'll talk about the Prem coming up this weekend. It's actually a weird week because there's games Saturday, Sunday, and then Tuesday, Wednesday in the league as well.
Yeah.
So that's, I guess, the other thing. Because there's 2 games on Tuesday, I guess we can maybe touch on a little bit since they're going to be – basically the one game's going to be ending when we have the show next week.
That'll be perfect.
So that'll be nice to actually have like a live league game that we can kind of like follow as it's going on. So that's cool. But, yeah, so there's a lot of Prem. I think there's 3 games in at least like 10 days for these guys.
It's fantastic. That's what we live for.
A front-loaded way to start December here. But then that and our usual Q&A and then our usual red card, yellow card to close her out.
Yeah, sounds good.
Yeah, and as always, our poll question I put with United, now Paul Pogba, of course, in the headline for something other than his play on the field.
Oh, again, it's
apparently,
been a while.
Yeah, he doesn't want to play for Manchester United anymore.
He hasn't wanted to play all year.
And he's made that pretty well known.
Yeah.
And finally, it comes out more public. So we posed up on the A2D site. Manchester United will sell Pogba in the January transfer window. Agree or disagree? And also with the way West Ham is struggling, like very badly. I think they lost 7 in a row now.
It's not looking so.
So the YouTube poll question is: West Ham United will get relegated this season. Agree or disagree?
Okay. So You want me to answer now? Or are we
No, wait.
saving them for later? Okay.
Wait it up.
Poll questions are brought to you by.
Yes, our usual boys at ATS Sport Picks. I actually went on this weekend, hammered Tottenham because I knew that Jose Mourinho coming in, the new coaching change, he's undefeated when he has his first game at every team he's been to. So I hammered them, won some money, and you guys can too. Go to atsportpicks.com, use the promo code A2D, and you get 20% off.
Nice. And the other, Specialized Physical Therapy, they are located in Cherry Hill, Burlington, and Princeton. So if you are making some dumb picks and you're stressed out and you need something, or you hurt yourself running across the room because you're yelling at the TV and you trip over the coffee table and you need some physical therapy, you can check those guys out. They're all over the Mercer County area. Again, Cherry Hill, Burlington, Princeton, and you can find them on the website at specializedphysicaltherapy.com. So, and Burlington County. I said Mercer too. Word up. So,
do you want to start with the City-Chelsea game, I guess? Or do you want to start with the Sheffield as being one of the best?
I mean, we could go either way, man. They were both great games.
Yeah. Let's start with the City-Chelsea because that's what we kind of said from last week's show.
Okay.
So Manchester City gets a 2-1 win over Chelsea. We said that this was going to be the biggest test for the young Chelsea squad. They started out good.
They did.
With Conte getting a goal, but then not too long later you get a De Bruyne goal, kind of a weird deflection.
Yeah, it was. It was I don't know. He's been sending the ball towards the net a lot, and it's kind of one of those. It was almost like, was it more of a pass?
Yeah, I mean, he has what? How many assists does he have?
Oh my God, he's running away with it. A lot. Yeah, he's running away with it.
But yeah, and then it's like, all right, well that's okay. And then literally 8 minutes later, you see Mahrez, the typical Mahrez, cut in on his left in a nice.
Hadn't seen him in a while.
No, haven't.
So Sterling had been playing well, and I guess they had to get him some playing time, and it paid off.
Yeah, man. And honestly, you got to know the guy. He's going to go on it. He wants it on his left foot. It was his patented move that when he was on Leicester, when they won that title that year, that was his thing.
Oh, yeah, that was his go-to.
Come inside, hit it with his left. I mean, you just got to know that. I know that, but maybe easier said than done.
Well, you got to watch film. I guess these guys should know that.
You should, knowing that. But, yeah.
So De Bruyne's got 9 assists.
9 assists.
Yeah, which is 4 ahead of Robertson, who's the next closest. So
right.
Yeah, he's pretty much leading the way there, no issue.
True. But, yeah, I mean, again, as a Chelsea fan, I kind of expected it.
Yeah, I mean, you picked it,
yeah.
So you kind of had to. I had that. That's what was going to happen.
I went with my head instead of my heart. I kind of was feeling that I think we would play well enough to make it a good game, which happened. But in the end, I think more experience kind of got the better of them. Would you say?
Yeah, I was intrigued to see how they would do once they took the early lead and see if they would be able to hold it and the pressure of a game like that. And again, I don't think they played bad at all.
No.
I just think that right now they're still in the process of figuring things out and really becoming the team that I think they want to become and be that top 4 team in the league. And City's kind of been there, and being at home just took that little extra advantage of being at home. But you'll get them again, and you'll get them at Stamford Bridge, and I think by then you might have a chance to give them one back. So.
Yeah, a little glimpse into it, but I mean, City, like we've said from I think the start, I mean they're going to be there at the end of the season.
Yeah, they're not going anywhere. Just because Liverpool's running away with it right now doesn't mean City's bad. Like, they're still one of the best teams.
Yeah, so
by far.
I think for both teams, there's nothing to really worry about. I think they passed the test, Chelsea. I was able to rewatch the game, and I was like, okay. I mean,
yeah, it would have been nice to get a draw, but unfortunately.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta feel it out, and you get that kind of a lucky little deflection in the beginning to kind of you're playing well, and you get that first goal. You're like, all right, we're good. We're jumping out to 1-0 lead, and that De Bruyne takes a little nick off. I forget who it was. Tomori maybe.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. As a Chelsea fan, it's
you got to be happy as a Chelsea fan,
right. And
at the way they're playing so
moving
far.
forward, I think there's enough there to still be a top 4 team. I think there's a 6 or 7 point. The top 4 is top 4, I feel like, at this.
Oh, yeah, they've already separated themselves from the pack. And other than playing each other occasionally and taking points from each other, I think they're going to continue to separate from the rest.
Absolutely. And I guess we can segue into Sheffield.
Dude, what a game.
3-3 over tie with Manchester United. They jump out, to a 2-0 lead.
It was crazy.
And you're like, oh shit.
Yeah, I text you. I was like, they are definitely legit now. Like they're here to stay.
I thought they were pretty much cemented to win. I even put a point in by my name in our picks. So I think I jinxed myself right then. I was like, oh, that's a win.
Yeah.
But little did I know that
I thought I was going to get the point too once United came back and got those 3. I was like, oh, I'm definitely going to get at least the 1 point out of it. I didn't get the score right.
So you get a good a Johnny Fleck goal, and then Mousse with an absolute beauty on the counterattack.
Dude, he's been looking great.
Yeah, how about it?
He's definitely been looking great.
And then, so they're up 2-0, and then all of a sudden, this Brandon Williams kid has been like a revelation for Manchester United. So he gets a nice goal, and then Mason Greenwood gets a nice goal, and then literally 2 minutes later, Marcus Rashford gets a goal, and it's like
the young boys. Yeah,
we're all of a sudden down they get 3 goals within 7 minutes.
It was ridiculous,
and they're down 3-2 all of a sudden, and then it takes an Ollie McBurney kind of ping-ponging around, and he kind of tucks it inside.
Yeah. Haven't got to say his name in a while.
I know. It's good to see him. I think he got a haircut, too.
Yeah, he did.
He needed to change something up.
He made the change, and that's a good draw for them. It would have been nice to get the win being up 2-0 most of that game and kind of controlling that game a lot of the way, but I don't think they can be upset with if you took them at the beginning of the season and didn't know what Man United was going to be and just saw that name on your schedule and said you're going to get a draw at this point, you'd be happy.
Yeah, I said that this was probably the biggest game in Sheffield United history, besides maybe they won the league they won the championship, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think this probably was one of the bigger games in their history, and the least of late.
Definitely recent history.
Getting Manchester United at home and you're the favorite, and you get a nice draw. And now
it's one thing to play Man United at home, but it's one thing, and it's to be the favorite at that point in the season.
Yeah,
and
to jump out to 2-0 lead, you're like, well,
it was a shame. It was a shame they couldn't hold it.
Yeah, I mean,
some questionable coaching changes too. I don't know. I feel like that's a lead you could have definitely sat on against a team like United, and the way Sheffield's created and as defensive-minded as they can be, I don't know. I think could have did a better job of trying to hold that, but stayed aggressive, and that's sometimes when you stay aggressive, you get.
I mean, that's kind of Sheffield, I guess. This year, they're not much of a team to sit back. They want to get out there and get you.
Yeah, but when you have it, sometimes you gotta make that adjustment.
Yeah, tactically, you gotta switch it up.
Yeah, but. Solid game overall. Probably definitely the best game to watch this weekend by far as far as excitement.
You said keep that thing on.
Yeah, stay tuned.
I mean,
I know most people in this area probably didn't. They were probably disappointed. They should have.
Yeah, probably.
So should we go back to Saturday?
Yeah, we can run it back from the beginning then.
Hit the rest of them?
Yeah, we'll do that.
All right.
So the Jose Mourinho era got underway for Tottenham, and they get a nice 3-2 win over West Ham.
Got a little dicey at the end.
A little bit.
I'd be a little concerned at
West Ham got that, I think it was 90 plus, 95th or whatever minute. But
yeah, but they had one right before that was taken away, about 8 minutes before that, I think, and it was reversed. And then they came back and got that one.
Yeah, they got a little comfy out there, and a little too comfy.
Yeah.
So they get a good. I mean, they played Sonny looked great.
Oh, Sonny definitely looked great. Lucas Moura looked great, which I called.
Crazy, right?
Said that was going to happen.
That's what. Yeah, exactly.
Said
You're
that
like,
on our other show.
we were saying that we were curious to see what lineup he was going to roll out with.
Yeah, I knew he was going to play Lucas. Like it was just an inevitable thing that he was going to start Lucas Moura.
That and sat Christian Eriksen, obviously.
Yeah.
And he sat what the fuck? The French midfielder, Sissoko.
Yeah.
Sat him down.
Yeah, he ended up getting in, but he didn't start him.
Right.
Yeah, because he's definitely not going to start guys that he doesn't think is going to be there. He wants to see. He loves Dele Alli.
Yep.
And Dele Alli finally gets a chance to play and played well.
Yeah, kind of a little resurgence with him.
Yeah, played Moura, and it all worked out. You can't complain about the results if you're a Spurs fan.
If it takes a nice kick in the butt from
REA looked reborn.
Yeah, he's always pretty good with his crosses.
He played well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he scored in the Champions League today too. So he's been
he's a good player.
Yeah, he has, but Poch wasn't getting the best out of him at all. He wasn't even playing him early this year.
Poch wasn't getting the best out of anybody.
Well, that's true. Yeah. So yeah, that was a big win for them. I know West Ham's pretty trash right now, and they're part of the poll question. And
yeah,
they're
lost
in
7 in a row.
Really bad shape, man.
I'm saying they're each week. It's just like,
what are they sitting 17 now? They're right on the cusp of sitting in that relegation zone, I believe.
They are 17.
Yeah.
Right above the.
Norwich is
Custs.
hot. Norwich is hot on their heels. They're another win away. It'll take them a month. But.
I said Norwich just needs that one win.
Yeah.
1 win a month.
Well, they got it. It's been a while, so.
Yeah, and it's been a while that Tottenham got an actual road win. They haven't won a road game since January.
It's crazy.
So
but changes sometimes are a big deal.
I said
it seems to work, and there's 2 teams out there that have not made changes, and it's continuing to show too, which is. Might as well just go on to that game.
Which one do we want?
Oh, either one, I guess, right? Go Arsenal, Southampton.
Sure.
What a dreadful.
Oh,
my God.
Good thing you're not an Arsenal fan anymore.
I'm so glad I got rid of that fandom. Like, I was telling you on Saturday when we were talking, and it's one thing now with being a Bournemouth fan. Like, I come into the week like, all right, Bournemouth, so-so. They're a good team. Average. Could win. Could lose. If they lose, it's not a big deal. Kind of expect them to maybe lose.
Right.
So my hopes don't get up, and then something bad happens. With Arsenal, they continuously supposed to get your hopes up. They bring in these players. They try to make these changes. They're supposed to be a top 4 team, one of the best teams in Europe, and then they almost lose. Get so lucky.
Very lucky.
I think the refs had to have been like Arsenal fans and just kept giving them that extra minute. Like, come on, get that equalizer. Get that equalizer. Like,
for real, though.
Because the clock just kept ticking and ticking and ticking. And Lacazette gets this, like.
Was it 96 or something?
96 minute. Yeah, I didn't even see how there was like 6-7 minutes of stoppage time in that game. I'm telling you, it was a gift just because they couldn't have Arsenal lose at home to Southampton.
It was that sad of a performance.
But they deserve to lose at home to Southampton.
Yeah.
Like, that's how bad they played.
Like, usually with that, you would be pumped to get a late, draw. And Lacazette was just like, yeah, this is great.
Yeah, he was, ready to walk off the pitch.
He's like, we shouldn't be tying Southampton at home.
No, in the 96th minute.
And then Unai's like, I understand, the fans are upset. It's like, no shit, bud.
Dude,
what the hell?
That team's in bad shape right now. Real bad shape.
Yeah. We've been saying that. Something needs to be done. If I was an Arsenal fan, I'd be going, absolutely ape shit.
Yeah.
Calling for change.
They are. They're all over because I'm still on all their social medias and stuff, and they're begging and pleading, and they were hoping that, the next morning it would happen, and it didn't happen.
Not so much.
Yeah, man.
Just going to ride it out per usual.
That's how it seems to be. I would be really upset if I was an Arsenal fan right now, but I no longer am, so I don't have to worry about it.
He handed in his Arsenal fan card.
We got to see Danny Ings get a goal for
Southampton.
Southampton.
He did.
Yeah.
Of course he did.
Dude, two more miles the other way, I would have been a Southampton fan. That would have been perfect timing for them to.
Yeah, you could watch him in the championship next year.
Yeah, that would have been exciting. Ooh.
Yeah, I mean, I think the only good thing about Southampton is that Danny Ings is scoring a lot of goals for you and keeping you sort of within striking distance from the bottom, I guess. I don't know.
Oh, my God.
I don't know what positives you can take. I mean, they played decent.
They did, I guess.
Decent enough to almost.
I think Arsenal. I just think Arsenal's that bad right now.
Even the PK, like Ward-Prowse, he gets it saved.
Yeah.
And then nobody's there, and he just
everybody's
taps it
just
right
watching.
back in.
Everybody's watching soccer. The fans are supposed to watch soccer. It drives me crazy. Every level when I watch this game and players are standing around on the pitch just watching. Like, what the fuck are you watching? Like, that's what we're there for. We're there to watch. Like, you're there to run after the ball and play the ball.
A lot of standing around. But
Yeah, it was a horrible performance. Arsenal's in really bad shape. They've fallen down to 8th now, and like it's just gonna keep getting worse. I feel week after week. I would see them drop out of it. I would bet with Tottenham making the change, United looking a little bit better.
Yep.
I would see them dropping out of the 10 within the next by the new year.
Yeah.
Definitely dropping out of
see
the
it.
top 10.
I mean, they're getting very close to being our new draw kings.
They really are. What are they, 1 away now? So you questioned me, and I 1 away, 7-6. Top 2 draws. They have more draws than Watford. How do you have more draws than Watford?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh man.
But
So,
yeah,
all
I
right.
mean,
Well,
speaking of another team that's in some really, really bad shape, Norwich got a 2-0 victory on the road.
wow, they're both in bad shape, and
At Merseyside.
that's really bad for Everton. Again, I knew Emery wasn't getting fired Saturday. I'm surprised he
made it out of the press conference.
How did he? How?
I don't know. They must have
lose
so much
at
faith in this guy,
home
though, honestly.
To Norwich,
A
who's
team
just,
that hasn't scored an away goal since August.
yeah,
Since
and
I think the first
wasn't
week.
even, and it wasn't even like Pookie. Pookie had the nice assist
That was a
to
nice
Cantwell,
assist.
but like, come
Good
on,
finish
like,
for Todd.
it was, and then just another like a late goal. But
Yeah,
you go that entire game at home
That's
against
Serbenny.
that really bad Norwich defense, and you can't get a goal with all that talent you have on that team. That's a problem.
I feel like it's just a broken record that we keep saying, like,
I know. I kind of start to feel like I'm repeating myself, but
It's like,
what else do you want
oh.
me to say?
look at the lineup. They should win. Like, they even tried changing it up and started Sanktosin this time.
It
It doesn't matter, I guess.
doesn't matter.
He's not
You got to
getting
start
the
with
best.
Richarlison at striker first of all.
Yes.
You have to. Like that.
Well, he's back on the wing this week.
Yeah. See how well that worked.
And they even
You're starting Theo Walcott. Like you don't have a better option than Theo Walcott.
Moses Keane's still not used at all.
No. What a waste.
He's going to be out.
Oh yeah, he's gonna go back. He's like sitting there like, dude.
Then why even bring him in?
I don't understand. That's what I don't know.
Or Marco gets fired and then the new manager plays him?
But they better do it soon because you're losing him now. At some point, he's going to be like, all right, like, I need to start playing. I got to do something. Like, you're losing starts to Morgan Schneiderling.
If I'm a betting man, I'm saying that next manager fired is Marco Silva. If
Dude,
there's a
it
prop
has
bet
to.
out there, I'm sure there is.
It has to.
Because look at Everton's next 5 games, who they play. Leicester, Liverpool, Chelsea, Arsenal, and Man United are their next 5 games. Everton's.
Dude, they might not win a game in December.
They probably won't.
Like, literally.
They had the easiest
Leicester,
schedule.
Liverpool, Chelsea, United.
Remember when I did that thing 3 weeks ago where I said they went down who had the easiest schedule thus far and who had the toughest, and then now it's like Everton had the easiest or one of the easiest, and now they have one of the hardest schedules.
They'll draw
and they're
Arsenal.
Still bad.
They'll draw Arsenal, don't worry. But they might not get a win. There might be a draw or two in here, but
They won't.
You're not beating Leicester at King Power.
No.
You're not beating Liverpool.
Hell no. Merseyside derby, maybe they somehow pull something out of their ass.
I doubt it. United, I don't think they're beating that United team. Then they have to play Leicester again in the 5th round of the Carabao Cup. They get home. They're home for that one, but
Yeah.
then they get Arsenal, Burnley, and Newcastle. And Burnley just keeps
Not bad.
being Burnley. They're going to
Not bad.
beat Burnley's going to beat them. And honestly, the way Newcastle's looked of recent, other than yesterday, they'll probably beat them too.
Yeah.
They have 8 games scheduled for December, and they might not get a single win. They're bad.
I'm looking at it right now. I'm not seeing one.
The only way they get a win is if he's gone before the new year, and a new coach can come in and maybe steal a win.
Well, wouldn't that benefit Marco Silva if the management and the front office is like, well, our schedule's really hard coming up. We don't expect to win at all anyway.
Dude,
You know what I'm saying?
But you can't even say that.
Because what difference is it going to make to bring in another guy if your schedule is insane?
Dude, if you don't win one of those games, you're gonna get relegated.
Yeah.
Because now you're almost 2/3 away through the season once you get through December. That's 7 league games in the Carabao Cup. If you only get 2 draws and 5 losses there, and you get 2 points out of 7 league games in the month of December, it's could very well happen.
Absolutely.
Looking at that schedule.
Before we move on, do you see Marco making it to Christmas?
Looking at that schedule, no way. There's no way. He's
Lump of coal in his stocking.
oh man, I don't see it. I hate to say, I just don't see it. Let me look at that again. Who? They have 3 before 4, 5, 6. Oh man, yeah. A loss to Arsenal on the 21st should be the end of him.
Right before Christmas, they're going to wait that
yeah,
far?
Yeah. Because you can't expect to beat Leicester. You can't expect to beat Liverpool. You can't expect to beat Chelsea. And you can't expect to beat United. The only one you could expect to beat at that point, especially the way they're playing, is Arsenal.
Maybe that game is loser goes home.
Yeah,
Loser leaves town.
They literally should set up one of those King Henry fucking things, and whoever loses just gets beheaded. They literally.
Little head on the chopping block.
Oh man, they're in bad shape.
Yeah.
Wow.
We always talk way too long about them, but that's okay.
That's all right. They get a lot of FaceTime.
That's fine.
They do.
We're good.
All right, so Burnley. I mentioned Burnley. We can throw
Let's do
them
it.
in there real quick. They're rolling.
How about it?
They got to play shitty Watford and just
do what they were supposed to do.
yeah, it was one of those typical 0-0 boring first halves, and you're like, oh god, this is gonna be one of those draws. Or
How about Chris Wood?
man, Chris
He's
Wood.
really come on
He
strong.
really has.
Once
He's
I dropped him for my
he's-
fantasy team.
He's come on solid. Wood.
That was like a kick in the
Come on.
butt.
Ashley Barnes takes penalties like it's nobody's business.
Yeah, what the hell?
He'll stay in that top 5 for Golden
coming
Boot
back now,
because
too.
yeah.
They win when he
And
scores.
Tarkowski just
Nice late one.
Yeah, grabs a late one. So
Yeah, I don't know. It's typical Watford, just really sucking.
dude, they're bad.
What was the stat I saw? They have 11 league home games now without a win. 11, and you can't win one home game? Come on. Vicarage Road used to be a fortress. Not anymore.
Dude, they got to be happy just to have 5 draws this year. They're an 8-point team right now, 13 weeks into the season. That's really bad. With a minus 18 goal differential. Them and Hampton are just both
saying.
minus 18s, both still in single-digit points. They're just
Southampton's been cute for a long time, and they've been dodging bullets the past few years. And this is, I
they
said,
should have held on to somebody. If they would have just held on to even
They'd ra-
Shaqiri,
they'd rather just get the money.
yeah, I guess so.
But yeah, I don't know what really else to say. Burnley, they've been
Yeah.
playing pretty good though, honestly.
They have been. They're quietly one of the better teams in the league right
If
now.
and the way the league is going, if you get maybe 2 wins a month, you're going to be in the top 10.
Yeah,
Because look at Burnley, they're in 7th.
yeah, they're sitting 7th, right
Like
up there
what?
with. After you get through the top 4, you go Wolves, Sheffield, Burnley,
Yeah.
and then
And
Arsenal,
where's the
Man
big boys?
United,
Right there.
or- yeah, and Spurs round out the top 10. That's crazy.
It really is, though.
Yeah.
I'd be like, oh, yeah, in the way, I guess this is a good segue into the Wolves. Like, where have they come from?
Dude, they were in relegation zone when we started
They were in
with
the bottom.
A2D. Like, they were legit. Like, they were just
2 months ago,
yeah, I think they
were
were
in
just
the bottom.
getting their first win, basically. Like,
And ever since then, they have been on fire. 8-match unbeaten streak right now.
it's awesome to see.
And
They're
in
back.
fifth.
So all the Wolves followers from last
We're
year
so
and all the
sorry.
Sheffield followers from this year, like, you have two of the newest teams that are just two of the better teams in the league right now. It's absolutely wild.
I just want to
love it.
apologize to all the Wolves fans
Yeah,
for
sorry.
shitting on them.
I mean they were playing deservedly so, but I guess they had something in
Now
store.
they're getting wins.
And we did talk about it, and the one thing was trying to find that balance between being a team now that is getting invited to these tournaments and in these cups and trying to be able to balance that in your Premier League schedule. And it looks like they finally found that balance.
Yeah,
And,
for sure.
I mean, they got some players on that team, too, that can absolutely score the ball.
Raul Jimenez is like dark horse a little bit for. It's tough to say MVP, but he's definitely if he's not on that team, I mean, they're not where they're at right now.
No.
Like he is on a great run.
And Moutinho's been playing good. But
Yeah.
Jimenez has been carrying them by far.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I saw something that the Wolves manager Espiritu Santo is like, why isn't he being talked about for maybe some of these other teams that maybe are going to lose their coach soon?
Yeah.
Like the way he's
Dude, if I was
from last year to now, the run that they're on, from where they were at, I mean, I don't know what happened. What did he say?
I would hate for him to leave there. Like, I feel like he fits that team so well.
Yeah.
I feel like if he leaves there, then that team might not be able to continue to do what they're doing.
They're just grinding it out.
Yeah. And I know
The draws a lot, but now they're getting some good wins.
yeah, they're not even. I'm telling you, they're going to lose that draw king status
Seems
very
like it.
soon. They're actually winning games. I guess the only positive thing for my newfound team is that they get a red card in the 37th minute.
I was going to say, what is the bright spot for the Cherries?
Well, both goals were already
one win
both
in the
goals
last
were
7 games.
Both goals were scored before the red card for the Wolves.
True.
So they basically won the game 1-0 with a man down after the red card.
They hunkered down.
Like they did. They hunkered down as a team. They got a goal by my boy Steve Cook, and they didn't concede any more the rest of the game, playing a man down. But, yeah, it's been a struggle for them.
Oy vey.
But the funny thing is, as bad as a struggle as it has been for them,
Even
and they're not playing well, they're only 2 points behind Arsenal sitting in 11th with
That's why this league is weird, because everyone's beating everyone.
yeah, they're all beating each other up, and Liverpool's kind of just like, yeah, keep it going, guys. Like,
Even the
I'll just
Bournemouth
keep-
fans know they stink right now.
Hey,
They only got 10,000 at their game.
I know. Well, they don't sell out a lot to be. They don't sell a lot to begin with. It's not a
weak.
huge stadium. It's one of the smaller venues in the league.
The vitality, because they've been down for so long.
Hey,
They're a championship side with, like, they've had a couple good years of good run of form here.
They're my team now, and I like them.
Both your teams
I've been
are
doing.
struggling.
They have but see, at least with Bournemouth, like they have some good young players that hopefully will start getting some playing time. The more I've been digging into the team, they have some guys that either maybe they can continue to like bring up and develop. I don't know. Lerma's still pretty young. Ake's pretty young, and he had a chance to equalize that game too. And he made a good play on the ball. He just kicked it right at the goalie. I think Fraser's probably going to be out of there soon. I don't know. I like the makeup of the team. I think they'll be okay. They're going to do what we always said before I was a Bournemouth fan. Bournemouth is going to continue to be Bournemouth. They'll go on a 3-game win streak. They'll start scoring again, and then they'll go on another skid again.
Now they're just skidding.
Yeah, but they're a mid-table team. They're happy to just stay mid-table, make some money, continue to play games in the Premier League. They don't expect to be a top 4, and they don't expect to go out.
Well, if you're not winning, you're not coming. You're gonna not stay up.
They're not going to go down.
Probably not. There's too many bad teams.
Yeah, there's enough bad teams that you're not going to go down. And I guess the one bright spot is Aaron Ramsdale should get you some money at some point, the good young English goalie, because he's probably one of the next
up-and-coming.
–
He's good.
For that English
very good
team. And
very, very good.
Yeah, and eventually he'll get the playing time, and then he'll play well, and he'll get some money, and they'll sell him off, and we'll just keep staying right in that level. But that's all right.
They're going to have to.
Moderate expectations as a Bournemouth fan.
That's why.
It's whatever. It's a nice feeling.
That's why you can change. It's like, we're okay with this loss.
Yeah.
And Arsenal, it's like, no.
Yeah, Arsenal, you want to jump off the bridge because you spend hundreds of millions of dollars and it still doesn't transform into wins.
Starts up at the top. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. At one point, we were, second to start this year. Everything was looking hunky-dory, and then boom.
It's like, let's
typical
not play
Arsenal.
Mesut.
Yeah, let's just not play. And then when
Let's
we
not
do play
one of our best players.
He doesn't know what the hell he's doing. He's a moron, too.
That's true.
I've looked at these lineups. It's ridiculous, the lineups he comes up with. And then it's not even the lineups, it's the substitutions, and he just has –
It's not good.
There's no fire. These guys have no desire to play for him. So
You're right.
who else did we
Leicester.
Yeah.
A good team.
A team that has desire to play.
True.
That has
Brendan Rodgers, Coach of the Year right now.
Absolutely Coach of the Year, by far.
Nice 2-0 win over the Brighton Gulls.
Yeah, and they're still sitting second now, which is looking really good because I did.
Well, that 9-0 victory really
it helped. That was big.
Huge.
Yeah, and that's why I picked in that poll question. Without that, I don't think in the poll question I would have picked them to finish above City, but because of able to do that to counteract City's 8-0 domination early in the year, and pick up those goals back, I think they're going to get enough wins and all that to definitely stay above them this year and probably finish second to Liverpool.
Yeah, I mean, I think they would be pretty happy with that, wouldn't you?
Yeah. If you go off preseason expectations across the league, absolutely.
Because last year they kind of struggled a little bit to find that identity from that championship run. I think they really, I don't even know, spent their load a little bit that year and was like, all right, where do we go from here now?
Yeah. And then they go
and underperformed.
Then they sell off Maguire.
Yeah.
And you're like,
oh man.
Yeah, what are they expecting now from this season? And they knew exactly what they were doing because this kid from Turkey can just ball, man.
It's like, what?
Yeah.
They find these.
It looks like Sunoco. That's
Singchu.
Singchu. But it's spelled like Sunoco.
Sunoco. But yeah,
it's a beast.
So, I mean, it was raining as all shit. It was raining sideways down there at the coast in Brighton, and
yes,
no first half goals. Kind of a sleeper, and then all of a sudden, a nice little Ayoze Perez.
Yeah, big.
Finally getting back on the score sheet, and of course, my man's Jamie Vardy
just
getting
continues
that PK.
Leading the Golden Boot race now at 12.
Yes.
He's just...
How about that?
Crazy.
Jamie. That's my man.
He's like fine wine, man. He just gets older
better
and
with age.
keeps getting better.
Love it.
He really is.
I mean, it helps that you have such a good goalie and experienced kid back there with Casper.
Oh, yeah. Big time. A guy whose dad was a legend, and he's now been a champion.
Just grew up around the game watching his pops.
Yeah, he has no fear. He's I know we talk about FIFA every once in a while. He's definitely like when you're developing your early FIFA Ultimate Team, like he's that goalie to get because he's cheap. He's like an 83. But for some reason, he just plays well. Like he's
solid.
Yeah, he's solid.
He doesn't get enough recognition.
No, he really doesn't.
And he's like the cog back there. So I
don't think people realize sometimes how important goalkeeping really is. And when you got good goalkeeping going, it makes or breaks a team.
Oh, for sure.
Without a doubt.
Because if they're happy and playing well, it makes it a lot easier because you can, relax maybe as a defender one time, and he's back there and can make a save if need be and keep you in the game.
Yeah.
And he's been doing that forever.
It takes the pressure off the defense.
Yeah.
And same thing for the defense. It takes the pressure off the goalie a little bit when the defenders are playing well.
And the offense where you're like, we don't have to score 1 million goals to win. Maybe we could just get that one, and we know that he's not going to let many by him.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just a nice put-together team, and they are definitely here to stay.
So Brendan Rodgers, man.
Yeah.
I don't know what he's doing there, but
He's got him outside of
they're
Frank.
playing very well.
He's definitely the other Frank, Brendan, and your boy from the Blades. Definitely your top three
Chris
right
Wilder.
now for Coach of the Year, without a doubt. It's going to be tough if they all continue to play the way they're playing. That's good. That's a tough call at the end of the year.
Yeah.
I would give it to Wilder probably just because the expectations were the lowest.
I mean, if Sheffield stay in the top 6 by Christmas, I would be like, for sure, if we're going for halfway, it's like, yeah, he would have to be.
Oh, yeah.
To have a newly promoted team stay in that top 6 and be in possibly a Europa position, that'd be insane.
That would be absolutely wild.
So I guess what do we got left? Liverpool. Oh, besides, before we move on, Brighton, Graham Potter got an extension
Oh, nice.
after the match.
Well, they have been playing well.
Yeah.
They've been playing above expectations. They were the first team that I absolutely would have had going down. In our preseason show, I did. I think I screamed the word relegated as soon as Brighton's name was brought up because I didn't think it was going to happen. But they're playing good ball, comparably.
Good enough.
Good enough, exactly.
Good enough.
Exactly.
But yeah, so the Liverpool get a 2-1 win over Crystal Palace. And actually, we saw a Wilfred Zaha goal, which never really happens. Is that his first, second
I think
in the league?
I think it's his second this year.
Second.
Yeah, unless it was a Ivory Coast goal that I
And what do we
saw
say
earlier.
about Liverpool not playing their best game, but they always find ways to win?
They find a way.
Every time.
They are just that
no
good.
matter what
They're
happens. They
that
could be playing,
good of a team.
They could be playing like this game where it's 1-1 late and you get a Bobby Blue Eyes game winner.
Yeah.
Like, come on, man. Every time.
I feel like they have zero fear when it comes to
They just know that they're going to get that game winner.
being down in the game. It's like,
They're comfortable with that.
yeah, we'll be all right. We're not worried about it.
I mean, I guess I would too if I hadn't lost in 30 league matches.
Dude, that's a
dating
lot.
back to last season.
It's a lot of firepower
Yeah.
on that team.
Well, when you get, I mean, Mane's insane. He might be the most underrated player in the league.
Yeah, because you're sitting behind.
He has a shit ton of goals the past 2 years, and he's not really talked about as much as like Salah.
Yeah,
or
I think it
Firmino.
frustrates him too. Like Salah and
Oh, of
Firmino
course.
definitely
They have
get-
a little,
yeah.
probably a
they're-
little beef going on and saying, I could score more than you.
Sometimes they look super close, and then sometimes they look like they hate
Well, they had
each
that
other.
little spat
Yeah.
before. It's just two big egos, like trying to be like, well, I'm better than you. I want to be the star.
That was Zaha's first goal of the year too, by the way.
I thought so.
Yeah.
And it was actually pretty nice.
It was.
A nice Zaha sighting. Doesn't happen.
No, and actually, I'm surprised they were playing as well as they were without him doing anything. Because they were playing pretty decent. I mean, they
Yeah.
were beating bad competition, but they were winning.
Yeah, Palace is another one of those teams that's trending down.
Yeah, they're definitely red arrow down type team right now.
Not good.
Yeah.
Well, they're another team that just doesn't get scoring.
Yeah, I know.
And when that's Zaha's first goal of the
That's-
season, that's not good
that's
enough.
bad. That's
I'm going to start clapping.
He wants to be an $80 million man. He wants to be the face of like one of these big teams. You got to score for your team.
Well, he didn't want to be there.
I know.
That's probably why. His motivation was probably at like a 2.
Yeah, but which one of these clubs is going to want to sign you if you can't even get on the scoreboard at Crystal Palace? Like, that's going to be the problem.
It's true.
You're going to talk yourself out of playing time.
I agree.
But
what was the last one? Oh, the one from
yesterday. Monday Night Football. It was a good game.
that young Villa squad, man. They're kind of exciting to watch.
They're not so bad.
They're not so bad.
They're not so bad. They had Tyrone Mings is playing well. Wesley's playing well.
That free kick was neat.
Yeah.
That little training ground move.
Hell yeah.
Kind of Houlihan.
Jackie is.
I mean, Jackie's back in the lineup.
He's getting a
and
ton of
they
credit.
win.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, they were freaking blowing him.
They
so
loved
much.
him yesterday. Non-stop Jack Grealish talk in yesterday's broadcast.
I said it last week, though, too. The dude, I'm surprised he hasn't gone to a bigger club yet.
I think he likes it there. They said he is the heart and soul of Aston Villa. Like,
He's insane.
yeah. Do you want to, like, if you're Jack Grealish, do you leave for a bigger club and play part-time and do that, or do you stay at a club like this and be the face of the franchise and be the leader? And the way they're playing right now, they're not going down. They're not going anywhere fast, but they're not going down anytime soon.
I think they'll do enough to stay up.
Dude, they still had Tammy on that team too. They would.
True.
They'd be up there probably with the Blades as far as new teams doing some damage.
It's just it's another one of those very inexperienced young teams that I think eventually, as the season will go on, they'll get more comfortable. Because, I mean, Jackie's young. He's been around forever, but he's played since he was like 17.
Yeah.
Wesley's young. El Ghazi's young.
Trezeguet's young.
Louise is decent.
Yeah.
Johnny McGinn's only, 25?
Oh, yeah. McGinn's really starting to become a player. He's getting noticed big time.
I said
that's going to be the other problem too, though, is when
trying to keep these guys, right?
Yeah, when you start playing well, is either trying to keep them, or if you are going to lose some, which you kind of have to lose some if you want to stay up and keep continuing to get money and rebuilding and growing. But you got to bring in the right guys and bring in guys that fit that mold. That would be one thing I would worry with Sheffield, is like if you're going to add the right kind of guy.
Yeah, you can't strike out on like a transfer like some of these big clubs can. They can miss on a $70 million guy.
Yeah.
If Villa brings in Wesley for whatever 40, 50 million, they can't.
No, that's got to work.
He's got to produce.
Yeah, like that's got to work.
Or that's going to set you back.
Not only does it have to work, you got to hope that it works and you can then go back and turn them around for like 70 and get the money back plus something for them and get that cycle going.
Well, they got El Ghazi from Lille for like $6 million.
Peanuts.
And they're going to turn that around, and he'll probably get sold for 30 or 40.
Yeah. If he keeps playing the way he's been.
He was bought for 6, and Pepe, same club, 70 with less impressive stats.
Yeah, right now. Absolutely.
So it's like not always the big name money signing. It's,
especially if you get a good coach that knows what he's doing and he's putting guys in the right spot.
Dean Smith.
Yeah. Good old Dean Smith.
He's back from coaching UNC.
He came back.
That joke never gets old.
It doesn't. I almost said came back from the dead, and I realized that Dean Smith's not dead.
I would have been very upset the rest of the show.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. What can you say really about Newcastle?
Just another Newcastle
speaking
game.
Speaking of not hitting on a striker, Joe Linton, our boy, is
dude, they were doing a Wesley Linton comparison yesterday in the game, being that they're both young Brazilian strikers, and just how much more refined Wesley's game is at this point. Like, he can do so much more. I don't know what Linton's doing, but you know what, though? It's not even him. It is so much more Almiron.
He got subbed out.
God, dude, he looks bad.
He got subbed out.
He had an opportunity early in that game, like right in the box, and like he just can't make the last pass. He can't get open when he's the other guy running down the field. Like it looks like he's playing rec soccer. Like he's like getting close to the other guy, and he's like, give me the ball. Like, dude, spread out, open up the field. And he continues to make mistakes. 23 games now with no goals, no assists. It's no points recorded.
It's a
in
confusing
23
Newcastle team.
And they have him playing as like a forward position.
Yeah.
They had him playing like a right forward. It wasn't even like a wing spot this time. It was really strange.
Yeah, they came in 5-4-1 again. Steve Bruce loves to play that 5 in the back, like being a little puss.
And Steve Bruce's return to Villa was not so.
He's a dark horse to get fired. He doesn't do anything for me.
I know. I don't understand that. There's like talent there. That kid St. Maxim's good. Shelby's been playing better. I think Almiron's not a bad player. He's just not the position you keep putting him in.
Yeah,
if you can make him a central attacking midfielder, I guarantee that his whole demeanor change. I feel like he's uncomfortable, he's out of position, and it's just not working out right now.
Yeah, absolutely. And
kind of sucks because it's making the MLS look bad.
Well, speaking of that, Yedlin, he was the one that drew the stupid foul that led to the first goal.
That was so blatant.
It's like, dude, once you extend your hands and push someone, they're going to call that.
Yeah.
Like,
that was blatant.
So dumb.
Yeah. He didn't look so hot in this game.
Yeah, it was one of those.
I think he's tired. It's been a while since he came back. He's been playing a lot. He played for the U.S. That looked like a tired foul.
I mean, probably. I mean, he's trying to get back fit and
that team just doesn't look good either.
Travel with the U.S. team and whatnot.
They're going to be in that bottom.
Oh, for sure. They'll stay up, but it'll be interesting.
Yeah, and I was going back and listening to our calls and me picking Villa, and I almost wanted to give them 3, which almost was the right pick because there was many times they almost grabbed that third goal, and I unfortunately only got the 1 point because Newcastle couldn't do shit as far as getting a goal.
I put too much faith.
Yeah, you put way too much faith in Newcastle.
And the Magpies.
But you definitely took the lead this week. Took the lead back.
I think it's 43-40. Which,
solid. Yeah.
This league, anything can happen.
It can. We're going to have some games coming up this week we're going to be picking. So.
Fuck yes. But, yeah, that's kind of the rundown.
The rundown of the previous week and all the excitement that was the Premier League.
It's always exciting. Fuck.
It is.
But, yeah, I guess U.S. national teams, maybe.
Yeah, we could touch on them real briefly. And
it's a little touch.
Yeah, it was nice to see them win that game. We called for it. We said, I remember stating that 4-0 would be a nice game.
That was the only way I would be satisfied.
And that's what we got. And, right off the jump.
You go there and
they come right down the field. Boom, first minute. Sargent, beautiful goal. And
Aaron Long.
Yeah, Jordan Morris. I mean, the guys that we want and we've been calling to see in this lineup and consistently get the time in this lineup, got the time, produced, and we move on with what we should have, nice win against Cuba.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
it was
anything less would have been disgraceful. So
I said, 4-0 I think was perfect.
Yeah.
I feel, I guess, okay. We're going to start seeing, I guess, going forward, we'll play then in the summertime in the semifinals of this Nations League.
Oh, yeah.
Against Honduras.
Dude, that's a big game.
TBD.
That's a game we have to win.
I would love to see us against Mexico once again, and we actually maybe win.
It would be nice to finally, beat Mexico after.
Let's beat the big brothers or little brothers, whatever you could say.
So far in 2019, we're 10-5-2, or 10-2-5. So 10 wins, 5 losses, 2 draws. 34 goals scored in 17 games, so an average of 2 goals a game. It doesn't thrill me.
It's just the year after the World Cup's always kind of weird because there's not much going on. They just made up this tournament out of the blue.
It is kind of made up.
I think they just threw a dart against a dartboard and was like, what can we name this? Nations League.
What other tournaments can we put into play to get more money, to try to make it more competitive?
Maybe have an upset in there, but it's still the same 4 teams that.
It's all the same teams.
Besides maybe Costa Rica. Costa Rica's still good. Probably almost better than us.
Yeah.
Depends on how good Jaime's. What am I talking about? Who's Joel Campbell? Remember Joel Campbell?
Joel Campbell?
The old Arsenal
lad? Joel Campbell's legit. So who? That's what I'm looking.
What?
I'm trying to.
What?
I was trying to go back and look at these 17 games. Like who have we played?
I ran it down the other day. It wasn't impressive.
17 games.
There was Uruguay that was a notable one. And then we lost to Mexico in the Gold Cup final. And then Venezuela and Ecuador?
Yes,
maybe?
We haven't played anybody of crazy value in a long time. In a long time.
We're going to start seeing once the qualifying for the World Cup 2022, comes around, who's going to be in the squad,
Yeah.
how we're going to play.
I don't know. I'm still not thrilled, man. I'm not confident that it's going to be.
Nobody's confident in this coach.
I guess we got to see the consistency that they're going to continue to play the guys that are working.
Because the pool, our talent pool, just does not seem like how it was before.
No, it definitely doesn't. But
Unless he's got a trick up his sleeve. And I just feel like these MLS guys, coaches, they want to make the MLS better. They want to showcase that, and that's not the best talent we have.
Right. The top team should definitely be any kid that is a U.S. player that is not playing in the U.S., that is playing in the Bundesliga, that is playing in the Premier League. The ones that if you're playing in a top 5 league in Europe, you should definitely be number 1 candidate for the team. Without a doubt.
Yeah.
Over anybody else. No matter the age, any of that. Doesn't matter. Like even Tim Weah should be getting playing time, should be making this team at 19 years old and continuing to develop and continuing to get good games on the world stage against better competition. When you keep running out like an old Will Trapp or guys that like...
Well, he's trying to recycle some of these guys to maybe give them that last little chance to make an impression.
This team needs to be about development along with winning. And if you're going to just keep running out these 25-year-old kids they're not improving. They're not getting better at this point anymore.
Well,
you've seen the best of them for the most part at that age already because you would know, which way their career is heading.
Our golden generation here, and now we're losing.
McKinney should be out there. Pulisic should be out there. Morris should be out there.
Tyler Adams,
Sargent.
Aaron
Long, without a doubt. Without a doubt.
Cemented his spot. That back line should be set.
Yeah.
Find a way to get Yedlin and Dest on the field at the same time. With Aaron Long and John Brooks in the middle.
Without a doubt.
That should be our back four.
And you should have Zach Steffen and Guzan at goalie. That's it.
Definitely Zach Steffen is the number 1.
Yeah. Like, I get not bringing him in for these 2 games. You should be able to win these 2 games without.
Tyler Adams is a holding midfielder with McKinney in there.
Yeah. Or Dest as a holding midfielder if you gotta find. I keep calling for that experiment too. Why not? Like, I'm sure he can handle it.
Yeah.
And keep Yedlin out there at the right back where he's probably more comfortable.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's tough to say. It's that kind of like lull before we start really get rocking and rolling next year. And
I guess we went out on a positive note. We won the group like we were supposed to. The loss to Canada is what it is at this point.
The loss to Canada started to really scare some people.
It did. But
it made some people mad.
I think maybe that was what we needed. Maybe just us. No, I think it made a lot of people mad.
I mean, when the American Outlaws, the supporter group for U.S. soccer, Burkhalter has to apologize to them.
Yeah.
And the whole country saying, "I'm sorry, we lost to fucking Canada." Yeah.
Well, that's the spark in the ass they needed. Maybe that finally.
Yeah.
They've been legit since.
Just still better guys out there. I feel like that they can.
Oh, there's definitely better guys that they can call them. But we'll see for the World Cup.
Being a dead horse,
Gold Cup run and then World Cup run.
But I'm trying to think. There's nothing really in the world of soccer.
No, there were some Champions League games. You want to talk about any of the teams in the Prem that played Champions League today? So I think City tied 1-1.
Yep.
Tottenham won 4-2.
Yep. 2-0 in the Jose Mourinho era.
Yeah, look at that. They should be happy over there in North London. At least one part of North London is happy.
Yeah.
Right now.
Madrid and PSG tied 2-2 today.
Yeah, we actually were watching that right before the show started. And
solid game. Munich 6-0. Lewandowski becomes the
got my Bayern pants on today for them.
On.
Lev, 4 goals. Just
4 goals. He continues to be the best striker in the world, I would say.
Yeah, he's going for Golden Boot in Champions League.
He's going to break the record of goals in like a whole campaign.
Yeah. He's a beast, man. He's that guy that I feel like half the world still doesn't know because he's from Poland and he actually plays for Poland. He wasn't one of these guys that like dipped off to Germany and got that extra boost of fame.
Like fancy. That's why.
Yeah, and he's on Bayern, which I mean, people in this country, it's a big club in the U.S., but it's like it's still not Madrid. It's not Barcelona. It's not Chelsea. It's not Liverpool. It's not, it's like it still has that like different feel to me, I think, over here that a lot of people kind of gets lost in the wayside.
Well, I think maybe if you don't watch the Bundesliga or maybe follow it,
I feel like people think Bayern Munich's the German national team half the time. Like they don't even realize like where Bayern Munich plays or what they do, or they're basically the New York Yankees of Bundesliga. That's
Bayern Munich. I mean, it's in the name.
Yeah.
Come on.
I know, but there's some dumb people out there.
I don't know. It's like Bayern Munich. Where do they play? I don't know. Munich? But yeah, I want to see a game there when I was over there, but I didn't get to. I did see the stadium, though.
I'd love to get over there. Yeah, that's on my bucket list. Hopefully with this.
And I knew Lewandowski because he was on Dortmund before that, killing it. Before probably anybody knew who he even was.
Yeah. Other than my boy Marek. Shout out Marek, my Polish brethren.
He knew him.
So, he was always talking about Lev. Lev basically, talk about carrying a team. Like through Euros and into World Cup and all that. Anytime they're in a major competition, it's basically because, I mean, there's other good players, don't get me wrong. There's some guys on the Poland national teams that are pretty legit, but he's just world level. It's crazy.
And he's just getting older, which is weird. He's just getting better and better.
He's another one of those that is getting better as he gets older.
I think he might be 30 now, which is crazy.
Really? Yeah. Yeah, he's 30, 31. He's over that. He's out of his 20s. I'm almost positive that he's out of his 20s.
Nothing really crazy, I guess, in the world. There was no racism this week, which is always a plus.
No, well, there was the positive bit, though, we can say, from Ajax and the other teams around the Dutch First League.
Yeah.
So Ajax and basically all the teams, but they got the most recognition because they're the most recognized team in the Dutch First League, I would say, worldwide because of their Champions League runs and things like that.
If you can name me another team in that league, I'd be very surprised.
So they basically opted to spend the first minute without playing. So the whistle blew, the minute started, and they both just kind of stood there at like a standstill as like a stand for racism and basically saying that, especially being that it was in a lower league in the Netherlands,
right?
It was their way of saying, hey, this was one isolated incident. This is not something.
Don't punish the rest of us.
Yeah,
for that. We're not
exactly, and we're not that type of country, and we don't think that way. And it was a big up to all those players to take that moment and roll with it. So that was good to see. So yeah, nothing in the negative side of racism.
Yeah. That's pretty much it.
What else? Pogba, again, I mean, we could talk more about Pogba if you want. January's coming up, so guys are going to be moving, and it sounds like he's without a doubt on the move.
Yeah. How's the poll looking, Ralph?
So Manchester United will sell Paul Pogba in the January transfer window. 60% say agree, 40% say disagree.
Yeah, I think he's
closer than I thought.
He's got to be out, and they got to do it now, where they're going to maximize the money.
They knew he wanted out, and they just tried to keep him locked up. And he's not the type of guy that's going to respond well to being shackled.
No, I mean, we have guys like this in our sports too, where they hold out, quote unquote, and that's basically what he's done. He's been hurt all year. He's been finding ways to not have to make his way onto the pitch, put it that way.
I just think he's never really been happy. I think he's just more comfortable playing, not for whatever reason. I don't know why. I think ever since he came and made the switch, he just never really found like his footing per se.
Yeah. I mean,
it's always been a little bit of a struggle.
I hate to say, but we go back, 2 months now, and what started a lot of this racism was this thing at United this year. That was like one of the starters this year with these missed PKs and this whole, calling out and racial tweets to him and things like that. So I feel like once that happened too, even though guys stood up for him on the team and stuff like that, he was done.
Yeah.
He was done. And you're starting to see that more and more, like Balotelli. Balotelli's pretty much done. He doesn't want to play in Italy at all anymore. There's actually talks he's coming to the MLS, and I would love to see Mario Balotelli come to the MLS.
I could see it.
He's been one of my favorite guys to follow his career over the last 5-10 years, so that would be pretty dope to see.
It can definitely happen.
But yeah, I think Pogba's time is done, and it's time for them.
I think he's small-minded, and I think he's just – there's a lot of pressure on him to come to United, and he just hasn't lived up to
I think he'll thrive at Real, though. I think he'll fit in perfectly there.
I don't think he fits in there.
I don't know.
But, hey, if he wants to go there and sit the bench, then that's fine.
I don't think it'll be – I think Cruz's time is kind of coming.
They're getting a little old.
Modric's time's kind of coming. There's going to be a need for a new wave
Christian
of
Eriksen
midfielder.
too.
Well, you get Eriksen and Pogba, both.
Nah, that's not good enough for me.
That could be nice replacements for Modric and Cruz.
It's not good enough for me.
We shall see, I guess.
Mm-hmm. All right. Guess we could. Do you want to do? I think Eric had a question. Or do you want to do the rundown of
we could
next week?
We could sneak Q&A in now,
I
guess.
Be,
Yeah, Tommy has a question for you guys on Facebook. He said, will
Yeah.
the men's national team ever be good?
Will it ever be good?
I hope so, man. I really do. And
Will we ever be a top 10 team in the world? I don't know. That's really hard to say, especially right now.
I think it's gonna. It feels like we're light years away from that. Top 10
Well,
in the
we've been saying that
I know.
we're light years away. And
we
then
were supposed to
now
be
we're
there by now. That last World Cup run
14.
was supposed to have cemented us to where maybe not top 10 in the world, top 15, top 20. And I know our FIFA ranking right now puts us somewhere in that realm, but we're not a top 20 team in the world.
Good team. I'm talking
I could sit here and name
10
20
world
nations
power.
that are better teams than our team right now, like that.
I hate to be a negative person, but I don't think we'll ever be a top 10 team. Not while we're alive, at least.
Yeah, at least doing the show.
We
We might be alive.
I don't see it.
Might be grandparents or great-grandparents by then, but
Not unless we,
dude,
birth these amazing players.
it's not even that. They're in the country. It's getting them to continue to play the game past the ages of 7, 10 years old in this country.
Unless the NFL gets canceled in the next 20 years because of the whole head injury and whatnot, no,
Yeah.
we'll never be a top.
We're
10
never, or
ever.
NBA
because
because
there's always going to be sports that are going to trump soccer in this country.
we're losing the best athletes to those other
NFL
sports.
is going to be king. I've had this argument, and I love soccer.
Dude, I think
soccer
these
is
NBA
one of my
guys-
favorite sports, but the NFL will never be trumped unless something insane happens.
And the basketball body translates so well to this game.
But basketball, they're all they're 6'7", 6'8". I feel like
But athletic as hell. Imagine putting them on a soccer pitch.
they'd be monsters. They'd
Right.
be a fucking clumsy people.
No, they wouldn't, though. They're not clumsy. They're the most athletic guys that we have. Take LeBron James and put him at a striker position with that speed, physicality, and athleticism to where he could jump up in the air and take a header off a corner.
Yes. I'm
yeah.
talking well-rounded.
Yeah, but if you were developed from
Kicking the ball.
Yeah, but if
He's
you were
big-
developed
he's a-
from 5 years old, 6
big
years
oaf.
old, you wouldn't be.
He's a big oaf.
If you took
these
all
NBA
that
guys.
talent and developed it from that age, and that's all you played like these guys do.
Can you see DeAndre Jordan's 7'2" ass or Joel Embiid?
They don't know they'd be goalies. We'd have the best goalies in the world, too.
They're slow, big guys.
Not all of them.
I'm not on that train with you.
Dude, I'm telling you,
Basketball
you're crazy.
players are. It's a different.
If
I
you
think.
take these you need a mix of the two. You need the little muscle, bound, quick little guys too. But if you're taking these big bodies, you're getting you'd have some of the best defenders in the world, and you'd have some of the most unstoppable strikers in the world, without a doubt.
I mean, have you seen basketball players' legs? They're like sticks.
Because they don't develop.
They'd kick the ball and it'd go like 2 yards.
But that's what I'm saying. That's what you're not listening. They're not. If they were developed from age 7 on and they never played basketball and they never played football and all they did was play soccer, like these kids on the streets playing Volta in France and Brazil, and that's all they knew and all they did, but they still had that level of athleticism and size, we'd be unstoppable. That's what I'm saying. But we don't. They play. And then it's called a girl sport, and then you get pushed around, and then you go play football, and then you get through high school.
It's not cool.
Right.
It's still.
Yeah, but you know what's cool? Cristiano Ronaldo's pretty cool, making $300 million, being able to bang any chick he wants in any country in Europe.
And he did.
At any moment.
Oh, he did.
Dude, that's pretty dope to me. Like, if you could sell that dream here, maybe you would, but you don't.
I don't know.
These guys live the life. They make more money than anybody in this country does playing sports, except maybe a couple baseball players.
We got a lot of alpha, dumb people in this country that'll be like, I can bang more people than Ronaldo right now.
Yeah. Yeah, big fat Jerry sitting on his couch is like, Ronaldo. He's a little bitch.
My body count is over 1,000.
Yeah,
I bet.
Yeah. Yeah.
What are you telling you, jerk off or something? That doesn't count.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's move on before we go down a really crazy rabbit hole. So, yeah, the Prem game's coming up.
Oh, man, we got a nice week coming up, too.
There's a lot. There's a lot of games coming up, which is what we like.
So how are we going to structure this? Let's see.
Pick-wise, that's tough. So I'll start. 7:30 Saturday coming up. We have Newcastle hosting Man City. That's not a good game to start the day. Our breakfast game. Newcastle coming off a really, really disappointing loss. And Manchester City just, I wouldn't say handily, but handled their business against Chelsea. Do you see anything crazy? Man City on the road?
I don't think so. Again, we talk out this league is just crazy in itself, and you never know. But I don't know. I don't think so. City's kind of had a couple snoozers already this year in the loss to Norwich and the loss to the Wolves. Like, if I'm any team that has to play City the rest of the year, it's kind of like they've already given up their 2 really bad games.
Yeah.
Like, I don't expect
the good
third.
teams only have a certain amount of,
Yeah, and City
lax
seems to get them out
games.
early. That's the same thing they did last year. They got theirs out early. Liverpool didn't. And then Liverpool started to get complacent, and City went on their run, and that's how they ended up taking the league. But Pep came out and said that this is not a priority.
Mm-hmm.
That basically this Champions League is almost more the priority because they won this league last year. Just like Liverpool seemed to prioritize Champions League last year, maybe a little bit more.
Just flip-flop it around.
So they're kind of in that flip-flop position.
Yeah.
Newcastle's just not good enough to.
It's not good enough.
Just not good enough.
Agreed. So 10 o'clockers. Burnley hosts Crystal Palace.
One team that's kind of green arrowing, and one team that's red
is
arrowing.
Definitely on the climb up instead of a Palace team that's more on the way down.
Yeah, and they're home.
Yeah. I think Burnley's a good team. And I think Palace, they just don't get enough scoring.
They really don't. And
that's going to be their issue the rest of the way.
It took 13 weeks for Zaha to get his first goal, and he's supposed to be your number one striker. So, yeah.
And that's not good enough, like we said. But Burnley has been they'll have really, really good games. They'll win, I think they scored 6 goals in the past 2 games. So, but then they always have that sleeper, and it'll surprise you. But the way Palace is playing, I don't see them beating them.
We almost have to pick this one, though. Looking at all the other matchups, unless we're just going to pick all the Sunday games. Because I don't.
I kind of wanted to pick Spurs Bournemouth. I think that'd be interesting.
Why are you doing this shit to me already? I know. I know what you're doing.
What am I doing?
Fine. I'll pick that. We'll save it. I'll pick that. I know exactly. Making me pick.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
Because you know I'm going to pick Bournemouth.
I know.
So you're just picking up points for yourself. That's what.
We could pick Burnley, though. That'd be the 4. Burnley, Spurs,
Yeah, there's not another one on Saturday.
Wolves, Sheffield, and United Villa. I think that'd be good.
Yeah, okay.
Do you want me to
Oh,
go
you're not going to
first?
let me pick Norwich to beat Arsenal? Because
Nah.
you could have picked up, because I would have too, I think, at this point.
Let's see. Burnley Palace.
Burnley Palace.
I'll just start it. I'll say 2-0 Burnley.
2-0 Burnley.
2-0 Burnley.
Damn. What's Palace been doing? I know they've been
Losing.
Really bad. No, I know, and I know they can't score at all. Wow. I'm gonna do 3-0. Burnley has been their last 3 games have been 3-0. 1 on the losing end, 2 on the winning end. Let's make it 4 weeks in a row. 3-0 Burnley, because Palace cannot score.
Word. All right. 10 o'clock, Chelsea at home against the struggling Hammers from West Ham.
I think anything but a Chelsea win would be very disappointing.
And Chelsea coming off a loss, but hey, I think they bounce back.
Bad time for the Hammers, too.
Yeah, take care of business.
Yeah, like when the losers of 7 straight, basically, or they drew 1 in there, but winless in the last 7.
And then Pellegrini that seat is starting to get a little.
Yeah, I mean, we haven't really talked about his. We've talked about
I was gonna say,
Silva's and Unai's.
You're not getting away with it, bud.
Yeah, he's definitely the other hottest seat in the league right now.
Oh, easily.
And maybe even hotter than these other 2. Yeah, very low expectations for West Ham this week. They haven't shown up against lower competition, so I don't see them necessarily coming to Stamford Bridge and doing much of anything.
Ass kicking.
Yeah.
Let's see. How about Liverpool hosts Brighton? Kind of the same.
It's kind of, I feel like it's been a bad run of luck for Brighton. They're hitting that tough part of their schedule right now.
Yeah, they are.
They were playing some pretty good ball, actually, but they're running into that buzzsaw little part of the schedule that everybody kind of runs into twice a year when you have to face the better teams in the league. And Liverpool at home, I don't see much of anything other than them just, kind of rolling along.
I'd say I think if Brighton maybe was at home, they might have like a shot.
Yeah,
Maybe. And Liverpool, Liverpool, they didn't play their best game this past week, but again,
they don't have to.
They just always find ways to get the
They can
job
play
done.
average, and they're beating the lower teams of the league without a doubt.
So the last 10 o'clock game Saturday, Tottenham versus the struggling Cherries. I guess we'll pick this.
Yeah, time to get back, Cherries. You were playing the shit Spurs.
And they're hot. Jose, I think, again.
Jose's got them playing. He's got some confidence with the boys.
I think I might go to ATS Sport Picks and hammer Spurs again.
You're going to hammer the Spurs again? Well, you might lose some money this week doing that.
Hey, Cherries don't do shit.
Listen.
You're picking them.
I'm picking them.
Let's go.
One thing they do is they play defense. They can counter you on some of this defense. Man, I can't ever pick Tottenham. I just can't do it. I don't care if picks are on the line or not.
Never.
I can't bring myself to do it. You're such a jerk for doing this.
Yup.
Oh, man. 2-1 Bournemouth. I was going to pull a draw card.
I'm going to say 3-1 Spurs.
Yeah, you're probably right.
Mm-hmm.
I can't do it. I can't. No, whether Arsenal fan, not Arsenal fan, my love for Tottenham is never going to be there, and especially with Mourinho taking over, my other least favorite coach in
Playing
the
a lot better
league.
ball.
It's been 2 games. Let's not get ahead of ourselves.
I know. I can't believe I'm talking up and gassing up the Spurs.
I know. Just Spurs lover all of a sudden because the great one has
He's
gone
a special
there.
one.
The special one has gone there.
He's
He's
all right.
special, all right.
Yeah.
So-
12:30. What a game this was. I don't even think we have to
should
really talk
we
about
should have
this.
picked this game. The loser of this game, without a doubt, is not going to survive the year.
Correct.
If you don't
The
draw
bottom
it,
2 teams in the league, Southampton hosts Watford.
if it's not a draw, which in all rights it probably will and should be, because neither of them are going to want to try and
Well, you know Danny Ings is going to score.
Danny Ings is going to score. Andre Gray's probably going to score, or De La Fueu. And,
Like
yeah.
1-1.
Yeah, most likely. Or,
0-0. Stalemate.
honestly, Southampton, as bad as they've been, have shown a little bit more life than Watford to me this year. And being home and knowing what's on the line and relegation, around the corner, I actually think Southampton wins this game, and Watford's really...
Real quick, is there trades in the MLS?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, because Fafa just got traded to Dallas.
Did
Really?
he?
Yes.
Nice.
Do we know for what?
No, it just FC Dallas put on their Twitter that we've acquired winger Fafa from Philadelphia Union.
That's awesome. Not for you.
You know what?
To be honest, I didn't even know that you could trade in the MLS. I thought it was
Yeah.
the same thing like the Premier
No,
League
they-
where the windows are. you
They
can only
have
do
transfer
There's
rules and-
trading, and then there's the monopoly money, the allocation money,
stuff. Okay.
which is
Yes. Well, they had the re-entry draft today, too. There's a re-entry draft.
Yeah, I know Harris Medunian for us
yeah.
got picked by Cincinnati.
Yeah. I don't know if Bradley went anywhere or not. They were talking about. He was going to the Revs, and then they declined.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Nice.
So now he was entering the re-entry draft today.
Yeah, you guys, the Union got $375,000 of the money that you were talking
The
about.
monopoly
Yeah.
money? Nice.
Ooh, you guys, Colorado
Oh.
Rapids trustee went there to the Rapids from Philly, too. Your youth U.S. defender.
In Ernst, we trust our sporting director. Whatever he does, I completely trust him because
How can
we
you-
actually did well this year.
How can you say that? You won your first ever playoff game.
Under him.
Well,
His first full season
that's
in charge.
true. I guess so, yeah. But then you flopped.
He finds diamonds in the rough in second-tier Germany.
El Signo.
No.
No,
I'm talking about Shabelko
I know.
and Kai.
I know. No,
Right.
you guys actually are. You guys are looking on the up and up, I should say. Where my team has basically gotten really old, and everybody's leaving,
Yeah.
and we're gonna have to find a lot of good young blood.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe Luis Suarez, because he keeps talking. He keeps talking about the MLS.
Okay.
What is his big thing? Why is this all a thing all of a sudden?
What? Everyone coming to the MLS?
No, him of all. He's in the last week. He keeps talking about it. He keeps saying he's leaving the door open and how it's attractive to play there and links to the MLS and this to the MLS.
I don't know, man.
Do you think it's going to be for guys? Do you think it's going to start becoming guys that know they're ultra talented, that don't want to put in that extra bit of work to stay at a club
Probably.
on the Europe level, and they're I'll go to
Probably.
the MLS and score 20.
Probably.
Is that how it's going to become? And it's just going to become a bidding war for big name guys late in their careers and developing young
Seems
guys.
like it's going towards there.
Yeah. I'm not opposed to it. I'm just asking what your thoughts are on that.
I don't really know.
All right. Well, sorry. We got off topic. We got to finish the Premier League.
I was going to say, if we had more time, I would probably tell you, but
Well,
we have 4 games to get through in 4 minutes.
Yes. Well, we could do it.
I mean, what can you say about, all right, Sunday.
Norwich
9 o'clock.
Arsenal. Come on.
We say this every week. Arsenal should win.
Arsenal should win.
They should, and they'll probably
tie.
draw.
They probably tie.
And then they'll be the draw kings.
Yep.
Over the Wolves.
Yes, officially.
And then if Unai doesn't beat Norwich, something's got to change here.
Yeah, I don't even want to talk about it. I'm done with them, and they're done, and they look.
Thank God that won't be the main game because this next one is
This is the main game.
Awesome,
dude. This is becoming
Wolves,
an awesome game. This is a battle for 5th place in the league.
Two
up and coming young teams,
recently promoted squads.
Yeah, the number one recently promoted team of last year versus the number one recently promoted team of this year.
I don't know. I might use my draw card here.
You pick first, so
draw kings versus a Sheffield team
that's willing to play for a draw.
Yeah.
So you pick first. Go for it.
I don't know. I'm going to say 1-1 because I know Raul Jimenez is going to score, but then it's always that if Wolves gets another one, who is that person?
Yeah. I'll go 2-1 Wolves at home. Give them that extra goal at home.
Fair enough. All right, the 11:30, we got Leicester at home versus Everton. I think this is another that's kind of, not much to say. I mean, Leicester's been very, very good this year. Everton has not been good at all.
Yes.
And Marco Silva have the boys quit on him? Is he putting people in the right spots? It's the same old question.
Yes. No.
Richarlison will be back on the wing, and they'll probably lose.
Yeah, they're going to look like shit again, and Leicester's too good of a team to allow that to happen. And, yeah. They'll just keep rolling and stay in second.
Keep on rolling, baby.
Yeah.
So the last game, we got Man United against Aston Villa, which is kind of intriguing. Man United's actually been playing very well as of late.
They've been playing better, but so has
2
Villa.
Weeks. Yeah. But
United's home.
Villa's a much better home team than the road team.
They are.
So, you start with this pick. So,
well, I'm going to pull my draw card and say a 2-2 draw.
Okay. I'm going to go 2-1 United.
Okay.
What'd you say? 2-2.
2-2. Draw them up at 2.
Okay. And then there is 2 games because I said, in the beginning of the show, it's one of those weird weeks where there's games on Saturday and Sunday, and then there's also league matches on Tuesday, Wednesday. So there's going to be 2 games that we will be able to talk about on the show next week, and it'll be finishing up. There's Palace and Bournemouth and Burnley City. That'll be Tuesday. Actually, Burnley City will be going on as we're about to go live.
Yeah.
Because that's at 3:15, and then there's one at 2:30. So it's kind of a weird week, and there's going to be a lot of games sandwiched in because they're trying to get everything in with Champions League and whatnot. But yeah, any red card, yellow card you'd like to throw out? Maybe one for each in particular before we have to bounce.
Yeah, yellow card. I have a red card. I didn't really have much on a yellow. I guess a yellow would be to Pogba. Just either play, don't play. You really should just get out there, get on the pitch. Whether you want to be there or not, they'll get rid of you soon, and you got to get on the pitch and play. And red card, man, Arsenal, you are absolutely garbage.
Terrible.
You drawing at home, basically should have lost at home to Southampton. Worst team in the league, along with Watford. It's time to blow that whole thing up and start again.
Yes. I'm going to give yellow to Ross Barkley. I didn't really talk about it today because we ran out of time, but Ross Barkley, Chelsea, apparently he's being a big baby and a little bish.
He's out partying in the nightclubs.
Partying.
Not being a leader.
Getting called out by his manager.
Yeah, I was going to give
Never
it, but you're the Chelsea guy, so I let you throw it at him.
Red card, I was kind of between the Watford, but that's just always the easiest way to go.
Yeah.
Just being so bad. And it doesn't really matter, coach or not. But I'm going to actually go red to my own team, Dortmund, Borussia Dortmund in the Bundesliga. We were down 3-0 against the worst team in the league at home. Speaking of that, and we came back to tie. Just unacceptable all around.
Yes.
They were being booed off their own pitch.
That's bad.
So,
yeah, get it together, Dortmund.
and I don't like the coach at all. But that's another
Story
topic
for another
day.
time.
But yeah, we're kind of
Yeah.
there's so much to talk about. We're kind of running over time. But so yeah,
It's been another great week.
another great week. A lot to talk about.
Happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
Yes, I forgot to say happy holidays, happy Thanksgiving. Eat a
Yeah.
lot of food always, and
Hell yeah. Watch some
watch some
games.
football.
Hell yeah.
And enjoy your time with some relatives. We'll see you guys next week for another great show.
Safe travels.